Hello angels, welcome back to another video. This video is inspired by TikTok. I was just scrolling like I always do, and I saw this clay clock that people have been making. Usually it's fall themed since we are getting into the fall season, but like I said, this year I'm not buying no supplies. I have like 10,000 supplies already at home, so I'm just going to be using what I have at home to make anything that I see that seems interesting. So everything in this video is from Amazon. So we're gonna have a wooden clock, some little tiny food, usually for when you're making dollhouses. We're gonna need some UV resin, UV light. We're gonna need some dry clay, and I think that's about it, honestly. Look at this giant bag of dry clay that I had just laying around for years and I have not used. I know for a fact I used to use the dry clay for whenever I was making certain resin pieces, and then I guess I bought way too much, so now I just have like a ton of them that's sitting around. So I definitely need to finish this bag before this year ends. And here's just a list of all of the stuff I'm going to be using. I'll also leave a link down in the description box down below for everything. Hopefully I can still find everything that I've been using, but pretty sure it's all from Amazon basically, so quite an easy. So with my wooden clock, I don't quite know what size this is because I've had it for years. I was supposed to make a resin piece with this, but I end up not doing that. That's why I say I have 10,000 supplies in this house that I need to use up to make just any little thing. So what I'm doing with the dry clay is I'm rolling it up, stretching it out, and I'm just putting it around the wooden clock because I want to give it that bubble effect, like if I could pour something down on it and it just stay right there, if that makes any sense. Ooh, a cloudy effect. I think that's what works best. I'm trying to give it a cloudy effect. So just going around the corners, make sure that it's sticking up. This dry clay is very sticky. It was sticking on my hands, sticking on my nails, and all of that. And when you stretch it or like try to pull it apart, it just keep on stretching over and over again. So it's very sticky, very icky. Very icky. It wasn't that icky. It was just very sticky. I was such a weird person. But I'm making sure that the corners are looking even, making sure that it goes all the way around and underneath it so that it looks good. And I'm trying to shape it up. This is my first one I'm making. Anytime I make something for the first time, it doesn't quite turn out that great. And then eventually I keep on making it over and over again. It starts to look better and better. So yeah, that's how that goes. With this clay, I'm going to let it sit overnight for it to dry or to harden. Yeah. And with this clay, to make sure that it keeps the shape and it doesn't get squishy or anything like that, I'm going to go over it with some UV resin and then some UV light. I'm just making sure that the corner looks very good. It looks like if it's the same size, the same shape. So if it's missing a little bit of some dry clay, then I'm going to add on some of the corner. Like that corner just looked a little too flat, so just add a little bit of some dry clay on there. This giant bag. Oh, I don't know why I bought all of that for some resin pieces. And I haven't done resin in like about 2-3 years. It's been like a good minute since I've touched resin. That's a lie, because I did make some resin earrings. But I use UV resin, so different thing. Squishing the side. It looks so pretty from here. Well, it looks good so far. Keep on going. And I was trying to get the clay off my hand, off my nails, and every place else that unfortunately it went. This can be a little messy. Maybe it's a good thing to wear some gloves. I'm going to show you guys how it looks. And I'm going to be eating some porridge while this air dry clay air dries. So it's now in the middle of the night. I decided that I wanted to paint it white. So I wanted to paint the clay and also the wooden clock that I got. So I'm just going over it with my paint. I think I did 2 or 3 layers of paint just to make sure that the wooden clock doesn't look like wood. It just looks like natural white. So I just went over it again with some paint until I can't see the wooden clock anymore. And yeah, This is the first step, and just let it dry in between every single layer that I did. Every layer. Shaking up on it every few minutes. Making sure that I get the corner, get the edge, get every single spot. Even this would have looked good, but I went over it 2 more times. I'm going to show you guys the UV resin I'm going to be using, this giant bottle. So I got this glossy spray. I don't know why I bought that, but I saw it laying around, just like I have a ton of stuff laying around for a project that I never started. So I decided this would be perfect to just spray on there. I think I did like 1 layer and it looks so glossy. I was like, maybe I don't need to add UV resin. But the clay felt very squishy, very squeezy. So I was like, the UV resin is going to harden it up. So that's what I end up doing. Mind you, I have certain stuff that's laying around here for years. And unfortunately, the UV resin is one of them. So there was some resin that was already inside that was already curing inside of the bottle. So while doing this, got a little messy. I got to get rid of the already cured resin and then just went over this like 1 or 2 more times. Mind you, with UV resin, you need a respirator mask and some glove. Try not to touch it, even though I'm touching it. And I got my UV little light right here. Just going over it. I think I did like 2 or 3 layers of the UV resin. Add some UV resin on there, then cure it with a UV light, and then go over it with a UV resin and then a UV light, just to give it that glossy effect and that glossy look. So that's exactly what I did. And then a little bit of some resin ran over onto the wooden clock underneath the number 12. It was too late. It was already cured, so I was like, yeah, might as well make sure that it's fully cured and it looks good. These are the tiny food that I got from Amazon. I'll leave the link for the seller down in the description box down below because I bought a ton of these. These ones, they comes with 5 inside, which was absolutely perfect. So I'm just taking these out to see how I wanted everything to lay out, or I wanted everything to look, where I wanted everything to place. And since only 5 came in there, I had to use some from some other projects, not other projects, because I never started anything with these. I wonder why I bought these, because they've just been sitting around not doing a single thing. But yep, it looks absolutely gorgeous. A seafood clock. Oh my god, so stunning, so beautiful. I love it. It turned out so pretty. Look at it. It looks so realistic. The artist did an amazing job, like, honestly. This is just so good, so great. Look at the fish. Look at every little detail that you would think of, like with the salt, the pepper, every single details on these. They just look so pretty, so amazing. I love that. Everything turned out amazing. I used my hot glue gun to glue down all of these. I didn't show you guys that step. I was gonna use some E6000 glue, but I already don't have a lot left over and I need to use it for different projects. So the hot glue gun works perfectly fine. And it dried very quickly, very fast, which was absolutely perfect. I couldn't find any clock hands, so fortunately I had to take apart a clock of mine that was working perfectly fine to just give you guys the effect, to show you guys how it would look. And this is just how it turned out. It turned out so cute. I like it. It looks so pretty. It's a little messy, especially with the clay. You can see I should have definitely smoothed it out with something to give it, well, it definitely does look homemade. Well, handmade, that's what they said. But it looks so pretty, so gorgeous. I can't wait to hang this up. It just looks so pretty. And the food just looks so realistic. And I'm a food girl, so this is absolutely perfect. All of the food just looks so good. Well, that's that. I know people usually do like fall theme or like other theme with these, but seafood, absolutely perfect. I'm just showing you guys what I'm going to be eating. This is just how it looks inside. I am in awe. I wasn't certain about it before, but seeing it come together, it looks absolutely gorgeous. And there are so many flies outside. I come back inside to show you guys how it looks. This is it, one final look, and finally gonna get something to eat. This was a 2-day project and it turned out super, super good. Well, that's that for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did watch it. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I'll see you guys in my next video. I wonder what I'll be doing next. I need to find some easy clay things that I can make so I can finish up all the clay. All right, bye guys.